Donald Trump explains how he's going to end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. In an interview with it was actually with Fox Business this weekend. Now, if you saw this, look, Trump's been saying he could end this war in 24 hours since February, and this was the first time he actually explained how he would do that. Now, will it work? I don't know, but it, I this is something I give Trump a lot of credit for because he actually wants to end this engagement. He literally said before on the CNN interview he wants to stop he wants people to stop dying. Um, it's pretty, it's a pretty moral cause, and I think Ukraine, whether you're for one side or the other or no side. I mean, I'm at the point with any foreign conflict where I don't think the US should be involved in any of these conflicts. But this makes a lot of sense what he says as well as how he would handle this. And it's really interesting. And when you look at the way that people have been presenting this, right? So Trump supporters are saying, um, some people are saying Trump said he would. I'll play the clip and then I'll react to it. I'll tell you what people are saying.
You said you could end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours.
Yes, I
How
could.
would you do that?
I know Zelinsky very well. I felt he was very honorable because when they asked him about the perfect phone call that I made, he said it was indeed perfect. He said it was. He didn't even know what they were talking about. He could have grandstanded, oh, I felt threatened.
Well, that's not going to be enough for Putin to stop bombing Ukraine.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I know Zelensky very well and I know Putin very well, even better. And I had a good relationship, very good with both of them. I would tell Zelensky, no more. You got to make a deal. I would tell Putin, if you don't make a deal, we're going to give them a lot. We're going to give more than they ever got if we have to. I will have the deal done in one day. One day.
So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to go onto national radio to be like, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to tell one side this and one side that. And when you look at, depending on what, who you're voting for and everything like that, some people are saying, some people are using it to say Trump called Zelensky very honorable and trying to use that as a, as a, something. Yeah. So you're right. Magnificent Devil. He says he's very honorable because he said my perfect phone call was a perfect phone call. Yeah. So if you don't know what he's talking about there, so Trump, I mean, it was kind of funny, right? Because Trump was impeached, I believe, right? He was impeached for threatening Zelensky with, that he wouldn't provide military aid to Ukraine unless they investigated the Hunter Biden Burisma scandal. And that was seen as going after, political opponents and all this stuff. But he's saying he didn't threaten him, and he's saying Zelensky said the same thing. So that's what he's referring to there. Now, but if you are, some people are saying, if you're an anti-war person, there's some people that are, or you're a DeSantis person, or you're, you're trying to harm Trump's campaign. I've seen people being like, he said Zelensky's he's an honorable man, and then he also said that he would, give Ukraine all the weapons, right? Which he did. But he also said that if Ukraine, so if Zelensky does not come to the negotiating table, then he would stop funding Ukraine. So he's literally saying, okay, Zelensky, if you don't come to the table, the negotiating table, then I'm gonna, if you don't come to the negotiating table, if you're not willing to negotiate, U.S. funds dry up. You don't get any more support. Now, Putin, if you don't come to the table, we will support them 100%. So basically, it's like, whichever side doesn't come to the table, we're gonna just, we're gonna pull our support from that side. So it makes, it makes a lot of sense to be like, hey, if you're not willing to negotiate, and if you don't come to a deal, then we're gonna be against you. And when we're against you fully, not whatever this, funding of a proxy war is, then you're not gonna like it. It's kind of a fire and fury strategy. I'm an anti-war. I'm very much anti-war. I'm an anti-war veteran, and so I think anytime that you can get to diplomacy, but right now, our funding of Ukraine is actually, it's stifling debate. Last week the Biden administration decided that they were going to send cluster munitions. There are a lot of countries around the world in NATO. I think there's 100 countries that are part of this pact to not ever use cluster munitions again, not even possess them. And yet we are going to give them to Ukraine because, and we're not part of that pact, but cluster munitions, they have a high dud rate. So when they hit the ground, they ended up harming civilians for years and years to come. And so this humanitarian crisis that comes with using cluster munitions is about to take place because they won't come to the negotiating table. It's horrible. So you say, I worry about Putin calling his bluff. Can you imagine how horrible that would be? It would be bad. Yes. It would be World War III. At the same time, I don't think he would. I think that, I don't think it's a bluff either. So I think he would actually do that. But it's an interesting strategy. I think that we would, yeah, I would tell Putin, if you don't make a deal, you do worry about nuclear conflict. But I don't think that this would have even happened had Trump been in charge. I think that's what a lot of people feel, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't have an AK-47, but I can see why you would. Now, actually, it's probably a lot cheaper, right? So yeah, I like that.